All right, here we go. Recording with my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me on the line as he does every week. He's from Cinemablend.com. I think he's kind of laughing at what I just said because I hit the record button at an odd time. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Mike Reyes from Cinemablend. What's up, man?
Oh, I am definitely laughing at what you said because if recording with my mouth isn't your memoir title, I don't know what will be.
Recording with my mouth hole.
Oh, that's even better. Like you can't always add the word hole to something to make it funnier.
Yeah.
But that's recording with my mouth hole. That's great. That's printed. Done.
Side note, before we get too far, I finally watched, me and the wife watched Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this weekend.
What'd you think?
I liked it. It was a lot. You know what? My favorite part of it was the Turtles were kids. They were teenagers.
Exactly. They're you believe they are teenagers. You believe that they're brothers. I think this is sort of the nice, solid, I want to say home run portrayal of the Turtles. Because don't get me wrong, I love those first two live actions. There's a whole bunch in the middle I still haven't watched, and I'm not a huge fan of Turtles 3, but we can talk about that another day. But I liked the fact that this was, if I'm not mistaken, some of the same creatives and producers that were involved with Mitchell's versus the Machines and Spider-Verse are in here. Like, a lot of the art style and some of the storytelling was inspired by that. And I liked that. No. And also that animation style is just cool.
I liked it. The animation is very cool. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Like the changes they made didn't offend me. I didn't feel like they made it just to, or would change something just to change it, you know?
Yeah, like spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't watched it. It's currently available on Paramount Plus. 3, 2, 1. I liked that Bebop, Rocksteady, and a lot of the other adversarial, like the other villain mutants, weren't bad guys in here. Like, I liked having Bebop and Rocksteady on the side of the Turtles, and like everybody at the end's just kind of hanging out.
And I think there is room for it to grow and be a darker story down the road.
Oh,
where you see, and the example I'll use is Harry Potter. The first Harry Potter that came out was very much a kid's book. By the time you get to book 7, that is a very much an adult story of a wizard dealing with the wizarding version of the Ku Klux Klan.
Yeah.
It grew into that, and I think they could do this with this Ninja Turtles where, just any one of the characters, Raphael, who's usually the real hothead, they did it in a very funny manner, but now you could start to really play with that and age him up a little bit. So I really enjoyed it. I really did.
Dude, my theory is, okay, so again, we're still in spoiler territory. So you see at the end that Shredder's basically going to be coming down the pike.
Yes.
I think the most devastating thing would be that all these mutants are now friends, and then what Shredder does is he splits them apart with some sort of again, this kind of ties into modern everyday stuff. Like, he finds some sort of division and wedges himself between the Turtles and their new friends, and then they all become enemies. And if we want to go serious with that, that's a good way. But in any case, I like what we got with Mutant Mayhem. There's going to be a series coming, which I think is premiering this year. I think there's an animated series, and then there's a sequel that's in the works.
Okay. All right. Well, very cool stuff. If you get a chance, watch Mutant Mayhem. It was a lot of fun. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com is on the line with me as we talk about movies for the week. I would say the big one coming out this weekend is Expendables 4, Sylvester Stallone and all the old action heroes from here.
Yeah, I really haven't heard too much about it because I think press screenings have kind of been limited, but I'm not sure what I should be thinking. I know this is Sylvester Stallone's last one. You got Statham, I guess, poised to take the lead, and he's got Megan Fox as one of the new recruits, who's also his girlfriend on screen.
Yeah.
It looks interesting. I don't know how it's going to play. I've actually never seen an Expendables movie.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it's not for lack of trying. Maybe I'll mainline them in hopes of seeing this new one, but I know it's basically supposed to be just red meat, no questions asked, blow the bloody doors off, action adventure with the best lineup known to man. And you've had people like Bruce Willis, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Chuck Norris.
Randy Orton, I think, was in there. Harrison Ford was a pilot. Like,
Randy Orton was?
I thought he was, or maybe he's in the new. Let me check.
I'm looking it up. You keep talking.
But yeah, I'm interested to see where this one goes. I'm interested to get into the Expendables period. You know, it's a time for new experiences for me lately.
I know I've seen the first and second one. Listen, I couldn't tell you anything what they're about. I mean, they're action movies.
I was wrong. He wasn't in them. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm like, Randy Orton, really? But they're just good. They're fun movies. You're going to get exactly what you think you're going to get out of it. It's an action. It's a throwback to old action movies where Sylvester Stallone and all his friends are badasses.
That's exactly like it's an old school canon movie. And I mean, that's another thing I've kind of wanted to jump into is those good old fashioned 80s canon flicks. Because there's I don't know if I've ever mentioned it. There's a documentary called Electric Boogaloo: The Wild and Untold Story of Canon Films.
Yeah.
It is one of the best documentaries, one of the most entertaining documentaries I've ever seen.
I know
it goes all about that.
I know who you're thinking of, Randy Couture.
Yeah, there we go.
So, hey, by the way, have you ever talked to Dolph Lundgren before?
Yeah. I talked to him and Florian Munteanu for Creed 2.
He is incredibly intelligent.
Well, yeah, I mean, I believe he has a master's in chemistry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, oh dude, he and Florian were both fantastic to talk to, but I know that he's just got this big brain, and yet the dude's He-Man, the dude's Ivan Drago, and all these other really cool things, and just real cool dude.
When I was doing the morning show with Moose, we got him to say I must break you.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. So, listen, I'm willing to bet if you like the first three Expendables movies, you're probably going to like this one. I can't imagine it's going to go too far from what they have been, right?
Yeah, just the only change, and I put that in quotes, is that it's back to being R-rated. Because I know they did Expendables 3 as a PG-13 movie to kind of get more people in the door, but that's not what's happening here.
Yeah. The other movie coming out this weekend will be on Hulu, apparently. No One Will Save You. Is this a horror movie, thriller? What are we looking at?
Sci-fi thriller from the director of Spontaneous, Brian Duffield, who, if I'm not mistaken, also wrote the Babysitter movies or co-wrote the Babysitter movies. I don't know if you ever saw those on Netflix.
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. You, out of all people, need to see the Babysitter movies.
Oh, I just, real quick, I pulled up the Wikipedia page. I know what we're talking about now. I've seen the trailer. I've seen the trailer for this, and it clicked in my head. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I want to see this weekend.
Yeah, Caitlin Dever versus aliens. And it's like an alien home invasion, people doing yoga that are possessed, other than, being possessed by the power of yoga. It looks so much fun. And I am, I'm going to watch it. It's right on Hulu this weekend, so why the hell not? It
looks cool. And this is what alien movies are. They're hard to do well, where you want that little bit of mystery. When you just show the monster, when you show the alien, when you show the whatever, that's when it always you lose them, Yeah.
This is very much playing on the one big thing that I'm seeing this kind of reminded me of was 10 Cloverfield Lane, both in how late it waited to drop its trailer, but also in what it's choosing to show us in the trailer. I love this. Give this to me. I am so excited to watch this.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joining me on the line to talk about movies. So this is probably going to be one I'll probably watch this weekend. No One Will Save You. As we move through the week, we're recording on Wednesday this week. Of course, last night, the new episode of Ahsoka came out. And if you haven't watched it, we're going to get into some spoilers here because one of the biggest things that happened in Star Wars happened last night.
The moment that everybody's been waiting for, part 5.
Yes.
There's so much fan service in this show from what I've heard.
But you know what? They're doing it kind of like Picard, where they're doing it in a way that makes sense.
Okay, I like hearing that.
Where they're not just cramming it in so that Anakin Skywalker shows up. There's a reason why it happened,
Yeah.
Anyways, last night on the show, we were fully introduced to Thrawn, who had a great intro in the
Well, it should also be noted that Thrawn is played by, I believe, Lars Mikkelsen, who is the brother of Mads Mikkelsen, who played, the Chief in Casino Royale, Casillas in Doctor Strange. He's just a general. They're both generally known for playing really cool bad dudes. And also, I think he was the voice of Thrawn in Rebels.
I believe so. I'm not for sure, but it was the whole introduction was really, really cool. But I got to tell you, the moment I saw Thrawn, I was really unimpressed.
And I am so heartbroken to hear this.
It wasn't the makeup was bad or his lines were bad or it was cheesy or whatever. The best way I can describe it is, you know what clothes look like after you've worn the same outfit for about 4 days straight?
Yeah.
How they're clean, but they don't look quite right. It's a little bit of the stretched out. They're kind of, I don't know what the proper term is, but when they finally show him, I'm looking at him like, really? We're scared of this dickhead? It just, I don't know how properly to explain it other than that. It's just, I saw him in maybe it's because the guy is built slightly different in the animated version of it. I don't know. It was just, I was disappointed when they showed me Thrawn. I'm like, okay. Oh, he's scary. I haven't seen red glowing eyes before. Ooh.
Wait, is his skin tone an unearthly glow of a color that is not human? Mayhaps this is something new for the Star Wars Brigade.
I mean, I've seen blue skin people before. I saw Kirk bang a green skin woman. Why am I bothered by this?
Look, almost every incarnation of James T. Kirk has had relations with a woman of green pigment, okay? That's just, at this point, that's in the bank. But
overall, and don't get me wrong, it was a great episode. The stuff they kind of introduced with the night troopers, where you don't know, I feel like they're dead. I don't know for sure, but I think they're dead.
Huh.
And they're like reanimated.
Ooh, like death troopers?
Yeah, because they're dealing with those sisters. I want to say Dothraki, but that's Game of Thrones. I'm getting my D names messed up. But they, they're the witches. I don't know what else to call them, but they're dealing with them. They're in some other galaxy. We finally got Ezra Miller reintroduced.
Oh, Ezra Bridger?
Bridger, yeah, Ezra Miller. Who's Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller is the actor that plays the Flash, and I don't think they're going to be in Star Wars anytime soon.
No, that's my bad. Yes, Ezra was introduced last night, and he had a very Jesus look to him.
Ooh. Did they get Freddie Prinze Jr. back?
No, he was the dad. He was the Kanan, the mentor.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But it was a fine episode. I liked it. I enjoyed it. And they did have a really, really on the nose thing right at the beginning. I told you earlier how they the robot goes to tell a story, and it starts with a long time ago in a galaxy far away, and then they cut to the Ahsoka title card.
Isn't that David Tennant doing the voice of that robot?
I don't know, really. I'd have to look it up.
Now I have to look, because I thought I heard that David Tennant was also returning to his Star Wars character, because I believe he voiced a droid.
Okay. That'd be cool if it was. But, I mean, it was one of those things that, like, I think that could have gone really wrong had they not done it perfectly. And they did it pretty perfectly, so.
That is one of those things where it's, Hu Yang.
Yeah, Hu Yang. Yeah.
That's him.
That's him, everybody.
That's David Tennant, ladies and gentlemen. I love David Tennant.
No, just the visuals of it. It looks just as good as any Star Wars movie, like big budget Star Wars movie. It's well acted. I don't feel like anybody doesn't belong on the screen. I've really enjoyed this series so far.
Well, I've got to do some homework before I even get to that point. I'll you know what, I might get there.
I think it's worth it. And I think people are right when they say that the animated stuff is some of the best Star Wars stuff. But, they may have set up, I watched a video about it this morning, and they were talking about it, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I did remember that part. But they may have set up what the next big bad is.
Oh.
For the world of Star Wars, and possibly what it may be for the Rey trilogy, or whatever the next trilogy is.
Oh, yeah.
So, which I wondered, in the expanded universe or whatever, the Legends universe or whatever the hell they call it now.
Yeah, the Legends universe.
Yeah, there was the whole thing that Palpatine was planning ahead and created an army to take on like another race of people or like another empire or something. Do you remember something about that?
No.
I feel like that was one of the storylines, and I got hints of that. It's like, oh, are they going to do something like that? Is that what they're setting up with this and doing the George Lucas type thing?
That would certainly be interesting because fans probably want to get back to that sort of thing anyway. At least the more vocal, disapproving fans that don't like what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty much where things like Ahsoka are coming from, where it's like, we want to feel good again. We want to love Star Wars again.
I just want you to make choices. It's the same thing I said about Picard. Make choices that are believable within the universe you're in.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to take this giant leap of faith just because you want the story to be something different. It has to. Oh, go ahead. Oh, I was just going to say it just has to make sense within that world that's already been created.
It's a hard balance.
It is, and I think it does go back to the thing of I wish Star Wars was more spread out like Star Trek, and I think they'd have an easier time of doing this stuff because everybody would accept Rey if it was further away.
Yeah.
Everybody would, like this other, and it's weird to see that everybody loves the prequels now, which is kind of weird, but whatever.
Yeah, well, compared to the stuff that they've pulled in the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
With Rise of Skywalker.
And see, I'm more the Last Jedi guy, but anyways, Mike Reyes.
Yeah, I know that's another. Go on.
No, I get you. And it's Star Wars is just hard because you want it to be cool, but you want new stuff, but you also want the nostalgia. Is that fair?
Yeah,
So I think they're doing a great job of giving us something new and giving us some of that nostalgia with Ahsoka. So.
And that's exactly what I thought of Last Jedi.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now. Did you see how I let you have the final word on that?
Yeah, but I did find, I did see that Expendables critic opinions have been released, like the embargo's up. And yeah, it's not good.
It'll probably be one of those things that where fans love it, but critics are just like, this is garbage.
It's mixed. Like, some people really did enjoy that. Someone even comparing it to Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yeah.
But other people just, did not enjoy it.
I gotcha. Otherwise, on the docket this week, just a couple odds and ends. Kevin Costner's divorce is final. That was a magic carpet ride, right?
Yeah. That's been going on since May, and there was all these rumors like he might have gotten someone pregnant on the set of Yellowstone, and his wife might have been dating someone and went on a vacation with them, and his ex-wife may have told him it was either her or Yellowstone, which then she later debunked and said that wasn't true. And it's just been wild, but there was a 3-page settlement that Christine Baumgartner, Kevin Costner's now ex-wife, agreed to over the weekend. And we don't know the specific terms of that settlement. We just know that it has been arrived. And, this is kind of closing this whole thing out.
All right. Well, good. Maybe they both can move on.
Yeah. However, there is something else that we could definitely talk about because I've just read about this and I don't know what to make about this. Did you read about the Aquaman rumor?
No, I haven't really paid much attention to Aquaman. I know somebody didn't. Was there a trailer out or something?
There's a trailer.
Okay.
There's a trailer. Aquaman now has a son, a baby.
Oh.
And apparently there is a rumor. Take this with a grain of salt. Take this with all of the salt in the ocean.
That's a lot.
There is apparently a scene that was in the test screenings that forced people to walk out, and it was the death of Arthur Curry's son.
Oh, wow. Really?
Baby killing in the DC universe, allegedly. Allegedly. We do not know. This is from people reporting on Reddit from test screenings. We all know how DC test screenings, how accurate they can be. People loved Batman versus Superman, and then we saw how it performed at the box office.
Yeah.
I do love that extended cut.
Boy, that's.
Yeah.
I don't want this to be taken the wrong way when I say this. Okay.
Okay.
There are very, very few movies that get child killing correctly.
Dude, I can't fault you for saying that. Because, look, it is one of the ultimate threats. To threaten someone's kin, to threaten someone's family, especially younger members of the family. It's always one of the most powerful threats that you can make against someone. And
I can think of one time it was done Like where it is actually like someone going to murder children. I can think of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Because
that was done tastefully. It was in character, and it's still one of the most heartbreaking moments from that.
They didn't show anything. That's what made that scene so great, is because he ignites the lightsaber. And when I say great, I just mean well done. I'm not obviously not condoning child murder or anything like that for anybody out there.
Obviously not. But you just have those bookends of the sparking of the saber, and then later when you see Obi-Wan and Yoda like going through the aftermath.
Yeah.
And just that heartbreak on Obi-Wan's face. He's like, who could have done this?
But that scene where they show his face, they have the kid in frame, he ignites the lightsaber and the kid kind of jumps back, and then it cuts, and they let your imagination go.
Yeah, that was just one of George Lucas's best decisions when it came to directing a Star Wars movie.
All right, well, we'll have to see what happens. When does Aquaman even come out?
That is supposed to be out around Christmas. Let me double check, because that movie.
What holidays? Christmas.
The whole thing is that movie has jumped so many release dates, it's not even friggin' funny. It's supposed to be out on December 20th.
Okay.
Like, it was supposed to be out last Christmas, I think, and then it was like, ooh, Avatar, we can't do that. Let's move it to the spring. And then it's like, ooh, how about we move it to next December then? Yeah, we'll do that.
Boy, you put in Aquaman 2 and Google's like when it comes up with the news for it, like there's a lot of like the one we just talked about is in there, and then there's like a lot of other wild headlines that are all over the place.
There's also like there was a whole, because of the whole drama during the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, there was a lot of pro-Depp people that wanted to get her removed from the movie. There was also an allegation during her court case that they had reduced her role because of all of it, but apparently that was always the case. I mean, who really knows at this point? The DC universe pre-James Gunn reboot has just been in such disarray, it's not even funny. So
you just reminded me of something. Do you know who Pete Holmes is?
Yes.
Have you seen?
You've shown me some of his videos, like the I think it was the X-Men, Professor X firing Magneto or firing Wolverine.
He started a new one where he's Batman. He's Batman, his Batman version, firing the Justice League, and the first one is Aquaman.
I saw a clip of it. I haven't seen the whole thing, but I saw a clip of it.
It's amazing. Pete Holmes is a very, very funny dude, and I'm going to tell you right now, if anybody out there has TikTok or whatever, follow Pete Holmes. He is a joy. The clips they select for that are perfect. Perfect.
Yes. Oh man, just
that's my shameless plug for the week. So Mike Reyes.
Yeah, shameless plug Pete Holmes.
Yeah, there you go. Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me right now as we make our way through the afternoon. Keanu Reeves, real quick. Continental looks like that's coming out. And what did he want to happen, or what happened?
Okay, so quick plug of my own before we get into this. If you have not seen John Wick Chapter 4 yet, we're about to go into spoilers, even though you may have already heard about it. But if you haven't seen it yet, it is currently available on Starz. So if you have Starz or a Starz subscription through Prime, you can go watch it right now. Continental starts I think it starts tomorrow on Peacock. So you've got those plugs. But spoilers for John Wick 4 in 3, 2, 1. Oh, no, it's Friday for the Continental. Apparently, Keanu Reeves definitively wanted John Wick to die at the end of Chapter 4. And there was a quote that came from producer Basil Iwanek, who's been, part of everything from the beginning. He had mentioned that this is the quote, after the second, third, and fourth movie, making these films look so exhausting, and it destroys Keanu physically and emotionally. By the end, he's always like, I can't do this again, and we agree with him. The guy's just a shell of himself because he just goes off and goes for it. He was like, I wanted to be definitively killed at the end of this movie. We were like, we'll leave a 10% opening. So 90% sure that John Wick is dead. But they have been talking about bringing forth a Chapter 5, and they're developing potential options. You could still continue this universe without John Wick, but at the same time, if Keanu can muster it up, and if they find the right idea, I don't have a problem with them coming back. It's just 4 was a chef's kiss, and I don't think we don't need to rush into bringing him back when we've got the Continental on Peacock, when we've got the ballerina spinoff still going. You could do a Halle Berry spinoff and bring Sophia back because we haven't heard from her in a while. Like, there's so many other things you could do, or even just following the threads that are left at the end of chapter 4.
All right. Well, that's cool. I still haven't seen it yet.
You know what? I would rather see the 4.5, like the extended cut of John Wick Chapter 4 released before a John Wick Chapter 5.
Okay.
But I still highly recommend it. It's so good. For an almost 3-hour movie, there is no fat, no lag, just everything left on the field. It's going to be hard to even try and equal, if not top this in another John Wick.
All right. I can handle that. I'm looking forward to it. I would like to see it. I like those movies, and I like Keanu Reeves, and I like to see him shoot.
So I love Keanu Reeves. I'm going to talk to him again because he is just such an insightful. He's one of the interviews where he just dropped something so insightful that I needed to take like a second to sort of collect myself. And it's like, oh, that is definitely a deep Keanu answer. I can't believe I just sat here in front of that. And I'm okay. We're going.
Well, there's the part of the, I think about it. He's a guy I wish I could just hey, you want to go out and grill some hot dogs? Yeah, man, I want to. Let's do that.
Yeah. That is someone I would love to hang out with and just talk about anything. Like, hey, Keanu, do you want to play Monopoly? Or I don't know, what do you want to do, man? What's in your, do you want to play guitar and I'll, sing or something? We'll do, a rock pop-up show. Or
what if he took...
He's just one of those people...
What if he took Monopoly really serious?
Then you bet your ass anyone else playing would take it very seriously, too.
But
at the same time, I don't see that. I see him, just laughing whenever he has to pay rent or something, or, collect rent from someone.
I wonder what the thing is that he does take really serious that he'll get upset. not at work thing. Remember the thing of Christian Bale losing his S on the set?
Oh, yeah.
But an everyday thing that really aggravates Keanu Reeves.
Something that's really close to his heart, and besides the obvious things of treating people well and treating animals well, that to me feels like something that's just so close to him.
It just gets completely thrown out the window, like Monopoly. It's no holds barred. He will end your life if you screw him in Monopoly.
I would like to know that too. I want to, like you said, I just want to hang out with Keanu Reeves. He just seems like the type of guy that his friends and his coworkers probably get so much out of just being casually around the dude.
Yeah.
Because he's such an example of how to be a good person, how to be a professional, but also how to kick back and just not get too seriously. Sometimes be a little more Theodore Logan and a little less Neo.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line with me. All right, as we wrap up this week, last week we talked about it a little bit, the Weekly Dose of Pure Nostalgia, where it's a feature I run on the radio show. I stumbled across some interesting anniversaries, and I wanted to bring them up to you because they're movie anniversaries.
Ooh. That are happening this week or that are happening next week?
Mostly this week, but there was one, because the dates kind of float on how the week was,
Yeah.
Because of the different years. So it's within the next week, one way, give or take. Okay.
Yes.
So do you know what movies turned 20 years old this week?
Ooh, 20 years. So that would be 2003.
Do not Wikipedia it.
No, I'm not Wikipediaing it. I'm trying to actually use my monkey brain on this, okay? I'm trying to use my primate-enhanced brain to see if I can find such answers.
I'm just a simple movie review, man.
All I know, literally, my job is movie. I don't know. What's turning 20 this week?
Secondhand Lions.
I love that movie.
And Underworld.
Oh, I went and saw Underworld in the theater.
Me too.
Just to see the teaser trailer for Resident Evil 2.
Did not do it for that.
Apocalypse.
I went for Kate in a jumpsuit.
I mean, that was also an added bonus. Also, Michael Sheen being a werewolf and looking pretty badass.
I really enjoyed the first Underworld and the second one.
I think I've only ever seen the first and then the prequel, Rise of the Lycans. And Blood Wars, which was ridiculous.
Rise of the Lycans wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was one of those things where they tried to make a movie about something that the story didn't really make sense.
Yeah.
Like they didn't fully kind of grasp how we need to do this, it's like, okay, that kind of fits together, but you know what movie turned, and this is the one I actually used for the nostalgia this week. You know what movie turned 25 this week?
Yeah. What? No, what?
Rush Hour.
Oh yeah, because this year is all the 98 movies. Yeah, 98 is 25 years ago, and we had movies we just passed a summer where 25 years ago we had, I think A Bug's Life was released during the summer. So was Ants, Small Soldiers, Armageddon, Truman Show, Deep Impact. And then this December, a dear favorite of mine, Mouse Hunt, will be 25.
Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com on the line. Okay, I'm going to ask you this about movies from 1998. Do you know what the highest grossing movie that was that month or that year?
For 98?
Yeah.
I want to say Armageddon.
Yep, you're correct. You know what was number 2?
Bug's Life?
No. Bug's Life was actually number 5.
Oh, wow. What was number 2?
Saving Private Ryan.
I should have known. Yeah, that's also 25 this year.
Followed by Godzilla.
Yeah.
Did you not like that one?
Oh, I did not like that one. I still have not seen it since watching it in theater and being utterly disappointed.
I used that as a date night movie for my girlfriend at the time. So.
Well, that's a good litmus test as to what they can take in terms of mental punishment.
What's interesting about the list, and this is according to Wikipedia, Armageddon was clearly your number 1 movie of the year with $553 million, almost 554, followed by Saving Private Ryan, which is 481. And then there's a drop off, and 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all kind of in the same area. It was Godzilla at 379. There's Something About Mary at 369. A Bug's Life at 363 and Deep Impact at 349.
Wow.
Yeah.
This just reminds me, I can't wait to get to next year because 99 is going to be a hell of a year to look back 25 years ago.
I am going to look that up real quick. Oh, wow. You had, and this is according to Wikipedia.
The Matrix, Wild Wild West.
Episode 1, Phantom Menace, Sixth Sense, Toy Story 2, The Matrix, Tarzan, The Mummy, Notting Hill, The World Is Not Enough, American Beauty, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. That was your top 10.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a year to look back on.
Let's see here. As we kind of get to, you know what movie is turning 30 this week?
What? Oh, Jurassic Park turned 30 this year, but what's turning 30 this week?
Striking Distance with Bruce Willis.
That classic.
That's where he was a boat cop.
Bruce Willis is boat cop. Rated R.
And then I believe it's more next week, but I just saw it because I was looking and I was like, oh, I want to talk about that. Elvira turns 35 next week.
That is such an underrated movie.
Yeah, it is.
That is like my wife and I sat down and watched it last Halloween, and I saw pieces of it as a kid. I really hadn't, I didn't remember the whole movie with like a conscious adult mind. That was her shtick from frame one, and it's you know what. That might be a perfect double feature with Pee-wee's Big Adventure just because they were such close friends. And also just that's the same sort of enterprise. It's like this really cool character that was built in that sort of same atmosphere of comedy. Like I think they were both in the Groundlings, or they were at least swimming in some of the same circles. And just those characters came out of that, and then they got the opportunity to become big screen successes.
Do you know what her first movie was? It was uncredited.
It wasn't King Solomon's Mines, was it?
No, it was Diamonds Are Forever.
Oh, now I gotta go look this up.
She was a dancer. It was an uncredited small role in the notes.
Well, if I remember correctly, she was in Vegas at the time. Like I have to read her autobiography.
Yeah.
Because I know Cassandra Peterson put out an autobiography, and it's supposed to be really good. And it's just another one of those books where it's like, I want to read this, but I need to make myself room. But yeah, there's before we do go, there's one minor thing I want to, well, not minor, but there's one thing I want to throw in.
Okay, go ahead.
Apparently several studio CEOs are present today at the time of recording on Wednesday during the AMPTP and WGA talks. And according to Boris Kitt, who I believe writes for Hollywood Reporter, he reported this on Twitter and said it was a very unusual development illustrating how high the stakes are. So maybe there's some sort of hope that we can get this trainer rolling, because from what I understand, October 1st is the deadline that's been floated, where if there's any sort of semblance of getting the 2023-2024 TV season back on schedule, that's when an agreement has to be made. Otherwise, the rest of the season's just done.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was coming up on. How long have they been striking?
I believe that, let me see, because I believe the WGA may have started striking in May. And then I think SAG-AFTRA went on strike in July, I want to say.
I know this is kind of sidetracking from where we were talking about with Elvira, but we haven't had an update on this in a while.
No, I mean, besides the fact that people are just still striking, the contract expired on May 1st for the writers. So I believe that was the ground zero for when that started. And then let's see, SAG-AFTRA.
You know, with that in mind, while you're looking that up, did you see the AI thing that fooled everybody this week in the sports world?
No. What happened there?
So the only reason I know it is because it had to do with my team. But this guy used an AI voice thing to make the offensive coordinator of Iowa say something that he didn't, and a bunch of sports outlets actually took it as real.
Oh, boy. July 14th is when the SAG-AFTRA strike started.
So, wow,
There was also something where I think someone used Stephen Fry's voice in like some sort of AI replica for, Stephen Fry shocked and discovered AI stole his voice from Harry Potter audiobooks and replicated it without consent. And then he was saying, like, you know what, you ain't, where is it? Yeah, he was saying something along the lines of, like, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is just the beginning.
They had the offensive coordinator. He's got a clause in his contract this year because the offense has been so bad that he has to average 25 points a game, right?
Ow.
And he said something along the lines. He goes, I get it. It's a big deal and all this, but if I'm not mistaken, we just dropped 41 on Western Michigan this week. So if you could use your ladder to crawl out of my ass, that'd be great.
And that was the fake. That was fake.
That was the fake.
Could have been so cool if it was true, though.
It would have been.
Yeah, Stephen Fry literally said, quote, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is audio. It won't be long until full deep fake videos are just as convincing.
Yeah, I believe it. So, Mike,
and that all ties into all this striking.
And then that's what I was telling my dad about, because we were talking about that one, and there was another one of the coaches in Iowa that they gave him the AI treatment because it's something that he did this weekend. But
yeah,
it was like, no, this is exactly what they're talking about, you know? So,
yeah.
Anyways, Mike Reyes from Cinemablend.com joins me every week on the show to talk about movies and entertainments and all of that.
And
Mike?
Aquaman?
Mike, you have yourself a good week. I couldn't hold it.
You too, man. I don't know. Ahsoka.